Dun, 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 dun. Alright, so today let's take a look at the Dakkajet. First of all, I just want to show you guys what I have done with my painting job here. Now the base I got done a long time ago when I first got this model, but the paint job I just finished the other day, so not too long ago. Now, as you can see, my favorite part of this job here is the pilot. He has a chopper. Every good Dakkajet deserves to have a chopper. Now, it's getting for those good close dogfights, get me closer so I can hit him with my sword type of idea. Now, my theme for this is pretty obvious. It is a goth jet, so let's keep the colors simple. Let's keep them busted up and rusted. And, yeah, very simple. Just weathered, beaten up. Got my engine there. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. I got my engine there looking like it's giving off some heat. But yeah, this is just my my Dakkajet. I'll also throw up a couple better pictures here so you guys could take a look in some natural lighting and not basement lighting. But this is my Dakkajet in its current form, and overall I'd have to say I'm pretty happy with it. So before we get into the rules of the Dakkajet, I just have to say I quite like how it actually plays. I've had some pretty decent luck with it in the past, but there's also been times where I've had it do utter garbage. But that's the beauty of it works, and having the randomness that comes with them. But as for a model, any of the jets can serve you well, but I ended up choosing the Dakkajet for the simple fact that it has the ability to shoot on a 4-up when you're targeting a single unit. That, for an orc, is a pretty big deal. So let's talk about that and maybe how else we can supplement that ability just a little bit. So the Dakkajet, we start off with 12 wounds, strength 6, tough 6, 4-up save. I can move anywhere from maximum of 60 inches, and then when you get really hurt, down to 25 inches. So, in the beginning, it's got a massive range, but once you're almost toast, well, it's, we all know what's going to happen there. Of course, it does have Dakka, 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 so all those 6s will get you an extra shot. And remember, if you're going to be shooting a single target, then you're going to be hitting on 4s for that unit. And that's for all the Dakka. Add 1 to hit rolls for this model's attack characteristic in the shooting phase if all those attacks target the same unit this phase. So that's pretty sweet. Being able to shoot on 4s, I'm a huge fan, and that's the big reason why I ended up choosing the Dakkajet over any of the other ones out of the kit. Now, it is airborne. This model cannot charge, can only be charged by units that can fly. So, I'm not too worried about that. It hasn't come up yet. Being charged by this, I'm not too concerned. I am sure it could happen, but overall, not too worried about it. Now, hard to hit, because it is so fast, you have to -1 when your enemy is shooting against you. They take a -1. Supersonic, each time this model moves, first pivot it up to 90 degrees. This does not contribute to the model, how far the model moves. And then move the model straight forwards. So we all know this. You turn the model up to 90 degrees, go straight. If you fly off the board, well, that's your own fault, so you're dead. So just don't do that. Now, crash and burn. If this model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6 before removing it from the battlefield. On a 6, it crashes in a fiery explosion, and each unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. So if you know it's going to die in the next turn, you could potentially park it right, above the enemy or near something that's pretty close. And when they destroy it, hope you have somebody within 6 inches to get those d3 mortals out there. So that's alright. Now we're going to be shooting with all the super shooters on it. You could have 18 shots at strength 6 -1, 1. Each super shooter is 36 inches, assault 3, so do the math, and we're going to have 18 total shots. Now, that's pretty good, I think. when it comes to infantry clearing or heavy infantry, that kind of stuff, this is the perfect gun to go after that. I don't see this as anything beyond like elite or infantry type. You don't want to target anything other than those. But for doing that job, exceptional. If you got a clear screen, well, this is what you're going to want to do that job. So now let's take a look at any ways that we can maybe buff this up just a little bit here. For 1 CP, you are going to want to give this guy long, uncontrolled bursts. Orc flyboys will fill the skies with lead in attempts to bring down enemy aircraft. Use a stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select an orc vehicle unit from your army that can fly. Until the end of the phase, add 1 to hit rolls for shooting attacks made by that unit that target enemy units that can fly. So that's not going to help your infantry type stuff that we were just talking about, but if you're coming up against an army, say like Tau or any other army that has a lot of fly keywords into their list that they brought, this is exactly what you're going to want to use to hit that with. So that means you're going to be hitting these units that can fly on a 3-up for 1 command point. Now that is pretty good, and if you combine this with, say, the Bad Moon or traits there, you're going to be re-rolling all those ones. So you're going to be having 18 shots, hitting on 3. If you take Bad Moons, you're going to re-roll all those ones. So you're going to be throwing out a lot of hurt on this unit that you're shooting at. It's probably one of my favorite shooty units because you can also use it to get behind enemy lines. It's super fast. Any of the jets are real quick, and it just gives some versatility. Now, the other thing I want to say is my Dakkajet has a tendency to do okay, and then it has an also tendency that the enemy is going to absolutely destroy it. They will do what they can to absolutely shoot it off the table, and it does die fairly quick. 4-up save with 12 wounds. I mean, there's a lot of anti-aircraft guns out there. But if you happen to luck out and able to survive a couple of turns with this guy, you're going to put in deal a lot of damage to these units that they wouldn't expect you to do that with, essentially. And it's also a really, really good distraction unit, too. So being able to have your enemy focus fire on your jet, this jet, I believe, is 148 points. It's a great distraction unit. You get in there, you dump all of its guns, and then if you get blown out of the sky, well, they just used quite a bit of firepower to take you out of the game in that respect. So it's a good shooty unit, and it's a fantastic distraction unit as well. Because it's something that they're going to have to deal with, especially later on in the game. If it's still around, you can easily fly right behind a character, park your base right up next to their base as close as you can, and unload all those guns into that character. So it's something that you're going to have to deal with. So as for the Dakkajet, I like it. I don't take it in every game, but for some games I absolutely do. If I want a little bit more of a shooty base type thing, or I just want a really good distraction piece, I find the Dakkajet does that job pretty well. So there's really not that much to say about it. It's a pretty simple model with simple rules. It's a really fun unit. And so if you guys like the way that I've painted this up, please let me know. I have done a weathering video before. I'm thinking about maybe doing an update on that. But this is more of a rusted look than it is for a weathering look, especially on the nose of the gun and on the tail. It's very much a rusted look. So if you guys like that, curious on how I did it, again, I'm no pro painter by any stretch of the imagination. I consider myself tabletop painter. I've just figured some things out by doing trial and error with mostly error. So please like this video. I'll see you guys soon. Leave a comment down below and keep the wall running.